Hey everyone, Pharaoh Silver here. This was just got done with golf, the golf mini game, and I gotta say, golf, all the mini games in general, I needed to talk about this. All right, it's just gonna be mostly audio. I'm just gonna put the screen up here. Maybe I'll like scroll down here and show you all like what's going on here, but I needed to talk about this. All right, so golf is getting and not just golf, every mini game in general is getting brutal. All right. Even even top 100 and AJ and I used to talk about like, "Oh, it's just so easy to get top 100. You can just get top 100 and call it a day if you just feel like it." No, you can't even do that anymore. I don't even know if you can even get top 500 anymore easily. I knew that this day was going to eventually come for us to say that trying to get on the minigame standings, at least in the United States, I mean, other countries have a long way to go, but at least in the United States, is getting to a point now that I feel like it's it's not worth it. It's almost I feel like unless you're really good at it, and I consider myself really good at golf and racer, um, and in some cases, like bowling and fishing, I feel like you have to be lucky almost. It's not worth it to, I cannot advise people to use mini games as a source of Atlas bucks outside of getting the wins that you need for the challenge. I'll show you all here. Now, there are going to be like challenges that you can do here where you need to get 6 wins or 8 wins. It's going to start off with 2 wins. I would get those. All right. Those are fine. That might become the new top 500 actually. And going forward with my Atlas Earth simulator, I might actually start doing that. I might not have my character hit top 500 anymore. I might have them just hit, 2 wins or 4 wins or 6 wins or 8 wins or whatever. Because, okay, there's two reasons for this. And I don't know why I'm even making this video right now, honestly. I just felt a need to talk about this. The first one that I'm having, the issue that I'm having with mini games, is that yes, they are getting increasingly competitive, and it's getting to a point where I feel like the competitiveness is getting a little uncomfortable. With golf, it's not quite there yet. I feel like, well, maybe not for me, but I'm sure for a lot of others, it's already been there a long time ago. But I feel like there's still enough determination of skill there that you can get to top 25 off of skill alone. All right. God, it's going to be very difficult now, though, because I faced a ton of players who were pulling 46s and 47s that didn't even make top 25. I mean, my last opponent was the Struggler, and the Struggler, I think I beat him 46-45, and he just barely got to top 25. I'm very surprised. Fun Size Jules beat me for the first time in several months as well. She didn't even make the top 25. But I feel like we're getting to a point now where and don't mind my stomach here if you're hearing it rumble. I was an anxious mess today. If you saw me on the Beer Money Network, you'll know how much of an anxious mess I am. But regarding this, but yeah, the first big issue with mini games is that for most of the other mini games, racer, for fishing, for bowling, maybe for Warship too, it's gotten this way. I've heard from others. I'm not so sure. But for most of the other mini games, it's gotten to a point now where your connection is basically everything. And I'm not talking about how your internet connection is. I'm talking about your connection to their servers. Give you an example. At around top 25 now, and maybe even top 50 at this point, with fishing, most everybody can get to 16, right? 16 or 17. And there are certain techniques that you need to do in order to get there, but it's always comes down to who will get the fish first, that last fish. Okay, you know what? an even better example, bowling. Uh, Everyone from the top, I would say top 50 on up, can now do the 22 method. By the 22 method, I'm talking about if you ever check Tasty Wallet's shorts, and you can go to Tasty Wallet's channel for this, he shows how to get a 22 in bowling. I would say everyone from the top 50 up now, it's basically a requirement to get a 22 almost every game. And if you don't, then you're pretty much stuck at top 100. And even at top 100, it's getting increasingly more difficult to just get to there on 20s alone. Here's the thing, though. When you're trying to go for a 22 and your opponent's trying to go for a 22, that last shot where you're both trying to get a 4, it does not matter where you're positioned in. If the server says that you are connecting after your opponent's going to win every single time. And it doesn't matter if you score perfect. And I think bowling is the biggest culprit of this. Fishing also has these problems, but I know many people have these techniques that they use with fishing to try to get to the fish before that. But even if two people know all the techniques for that, they would still come down to connections. Racer's gotten a little bit better on that lately. But it too also has problems, and I heard Warship does, but I rarely play Warship. I pretty much play for top 500. Once in a great while, I'll play top 100, but I haven't heard much more regarding that. So the first big issue as to why I can't recommend minigames anymore as a source of Atlas bucks, at least from the United States, has been because of the competitiveness. The competitiveness is just there. The connection issues in general have turned it to a point now that most of these minigames are no longer about skill. They are very much based off of how the Microsoft Azure servers that they use like you or not. Which, it kind of sucks that it has gone down to that way. And it's not going to be that way. I mean, every game is different too. Like sometimes you'll win, sometimes you'll lose. But, if you do get it enough times, it will get to a point where some nights you might be hitting top 25, even as good as you are. And some nights that same skill level will knock you all the way down to the top 100. And that is a lot of Atlas bucks difference. Some people might be really unlucky and never get there now because of that. It's getting to a point now, I feel like minigames are starting to get more frustrating than fun. And for me, like, I've long gotten to a point now where I'm doing top 500 in fishing and bowling and Warship. Sometimes I'll probably do top 100 or top 50 in bowling and then just call it a day if I'm really wanting to be serious about it. But these days, I'm mostly just doing golf and racer. It's very hard to give advice with many of these mini games anymore. So going forward, I feel like with the beer money portfolio, and also there's a lot of glitches too. I'm aware of the glitches that are there as well. And that's a whole other problem that I'd want to talk about as well. I've been getting an increasing amount of lag glitches in golf where I clearly have gotten a 4. Like I'm in the middle of the yellow and it still counts me as 0. And more often than that, I will get like on the line between the 4 and the 0 and it will grant me the 0. So I've had that problem too. I don't know. I'm still going to keep playing golf and racer because I still keep getting top 25 on those. But like with most of these mini games, I've kind of just stopped playing like 2-3 hours. Like, yeah, okay, it's not 6-hour mini games like it used to be, but 2-3 hours is still a lot of time to devote in order to try to gain Atlas bucks. That I'm not entirely sure if it's worth it sometimes. I know I'm ranting here after just finishing top 10 in golf, but look, right? I don't know. It's just something I'm having to think about going forward with the beer money portfolio. Like I might need to start looking into like just exactly how many Atlas bucks would I be earning from just doing this with the challenges. And that might be something I'll look into. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I just had to vent about this. I had to vent about how I feel like it's been getting to a point now that these mini games, even the ones that I like Golf and Racer, and yeah, can you believe it? I'm liking Racer now, are becoming more frustrating than they are fun. And at one point, I kept telling people, hey, these mini games are fun. You guys should try it out. Now it's like, most people have been telling me that, oh, the mini games are glitchy. The mini games have gotten too competitive. And I feel it. I really do feel it. Like, I don't get as many Atlas bucks from these mini games as I used to. I know a lot of you don't. And it's not that I welcome competitiveness if it was about skill. It's hard to welcome competitiveness when it comes down to the ping times of a Microsoft Azure server. I'm very tongue tied here. I'm very tired, y'all. I'm sorry. All right. So it's something that I feel like I don't know if Atlas Reality can fix it. I feel like this is just the nature of the timing game. I know a lot of people have been saying, oh, Atlas Earth needs to fix certain things. And there's probably certain things that they still need to fix. Yes. In Racer, there are these situations where you will clearly finish ahead of your opponent or you'll clearly finish behind the opponent, and the result is the opposite of what you see at the end. That probably needs to be fixed. There are some of these issues where, like, for example, in fishing, where there will be two fish that pop up at once. That is probably an issue that needs to be fixed. I can't think of any for Warship. Bowling actually runs fairly smoothly, and golf 90% of the time runs smoothly, but I have been getting an increase of these lag delays that cause me to, like I said, miss fours that I should be getting. So that is a bit of an issue for me as well. But overall, like, I don't know what Atlas Reality, outside of those couple things, can really do to make the games better. They created these timing games. I mean, they would have to create more skill-based, strategy-like games. I'm pretty sure that Rock, Paper, Scissors is going to be another timing game. I know a lot of people think Rock, Paper, Scissors is just going to be like a luck-based game where we're going to be choosing Rock, Paper, Scissors. I feel like it's going to be a timing game where, like, there's going to be, it's similar to like golf where you have 3 different color areas of, like, red, yellow, and green, where red is rock and yellow is paper and green is scissors. And basically you're going to score a point every single time you land a hand signal that beats your opponent or something like that. That's what I think it's probably going to be. I think it's going to be another timing game, because if it's a complete luck game, I feel like that's going to be even worse. And a lot of people are going to dislike Rock, Paper, Scissors because of that. But, going off to a bit of a tangent there. Like I said, overall, I feel like the minigames are becoming more frustrating than fun, in my opinion. And I really wanted to not talk about it too much, because I know a lot of people, have their own opinions on it. And I don't want to feel like I'm whining because I'm losing my spot or something. I'm not really losing my spot. Look, I finished top 25. Although, granted, Glaston almost beat me. And this Google en passant person, also really scary. Just saying. You guys are getting crazy out here in North Carolina. Seriously, I'm going to need to move states. But I feel like, as far as, like, can Atlas Reality fix what's going on? And I feel like they can't. Like, these games are built the way that they're meant to be built, and they're meant to be like this. All right. Like, with timing games like this, in a game where you have to be, like, in a game of milliseconds, so are the ping times, is the best way that I can describe it to you guys. If the ping times are, if one person's ping time is 60 seconds and the other person's ping time is 90 milliseconds, 60 milliseconds and 90 milliseconds, the one that has a ping time of 60 milliseconds is going to win every single time in a timing game. That's part of the reason why a lot of these other games, when they do multiplayer, don't do that. They do things that are independent of the other player. Now, yes, they could change the programming to where it's not based off of what hits the server first. It's based off of the position of the bar. Like, for example, the position of the bar, which one is the closest, the most left or something like that. You know what I mean? Or, they could time it independently within the client. And so the server will just read the times instead, which might actually provide it to go a little bit faster because less information is going to it. But they did it the way that they did it, and for now, that's pretty much the design that they've decided. And I don't know, using the current design, if they can make it better. It's just the mini games are timing games in general are just not great for things like servers, just in general. If you guys want to put your opinions out there, go ahead. I needed to vent and let out some steam after tonight, because this is the first night that I felt like with golf that I literally had said, I don't want to play this anymore. And I get it. I don't like it. I don't have to play it. I'm probably going to still keep playing it because of the Atlas bucks. But like, as far as like, if I'm feeling that way, I can only imagine what a lot of y'all are feeling. All right. So as far as like, should they change the mini games altogether? I don't think that's going to happen. Do I feel like that when they fix the current mini games as they are now, I feel like the mini games are about as fixed as can be, with the exceptions that I've talked about with Racer and the issue with the golf delays as well, possibly. But overall, like, there's not really much more that they can really fix, because a lot of it comes down to just the nature of those ping times that I talked about. Okay, I've talked enough, y'all. I'm starting to cough like crazy, so I'm gonna call it for this one. It's already been almost 20 minutes. This is just an uncut rant of me regarding Atlas Earth minigames. Maybe you got something out of this. Maybe you didn't. I'm gonna try to get the next video out on Friday. Yeah, I haven't put out a video every day, haven't I, since Monday. Yeah. Well, enjoy the content. All right. So if you want me to do more like uncut rants like this, let me know. I can talk about it, because I got a lot on my mind regarding some of this stuff. Really, seriously. So talk to me about it. Comment section below. Like the video if you like it. Subscribe to Bear Money Engine. This is Pharaoh Silver signing out. I'm gonna go sleep. Bye, everyone.